Hi vegan hearts! I believe that if you're watching this video that you're already a vegan heart or that you are about to becoming one. And I'm here to help you with that. So in today's video I want to talk about my yoga experience and how it helped me cure my sciatic pain. I know that my sciatic pain came from tight muscles, and before I was like just regular flexible, not extremely flexible, but not super tight as well. But after 1.5 years of chronic sciatic pain, 1.5 years of suffering, excruciating pain made my days a pure hell. And after that 1.5 years, when I sat down in Indian style, my knees were actually up to my chest. And now, 5 months later, I am totally cured, my pain is gone. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the lunge position from the Surya Namaskar, and I wanted to remember in the beginning I had to start very high. So I had to hold on onto a table, and the cramping started. I couldn't even bring my thigh parallel to the floor, in a very high position. And it took me several months to work me down. And when you watch pictures, or when you see pictures on the internet about lunge position, you usually see people, they're pretty deep, and their upper body lies on their thigh, and the hands on the floor. So this was absolutely not possible for me to do. And even in the very, very high lunge, I couldn't bring my thigh parallel to the floor. And even in that high position, I had crampings. And even then, I had problems to get out of the position. And now I had several pains. I had, the problems that I had, the pain that I had, that brought me to yoga, because I hoped that would help. And now, in addition to that, I had the pain from practicing yoga, because afterwards, I don't know, I ran around feeling like somebody tried to rip my legs out for weeks and weeks, and the soreness was tremendously. So there was this pain also, but somehow I asked myself, so why do you do that? Why don't you stop? But I started to differentiate between good pain and bad pain. There's the pain from degenerative disease, and there's the pain from healing. The pain because you are about to change. You change your body. And this pain is like a paradox. You feel bad and good at the same time. And that made me keep going. And then over time, I understood that the crampings, for example, so you start very high in lunge position, or I did it, and then you feel, okay, the cramping is coming. It was really intense cramping, or very painful, and I was sort of locked in the lunge. And you can imagine when you have one leg stretched out and you are holding onto something, and then you have a cramping. You don't know what move will give more pain, and you feel like locked in the pose, how to get out. So I started like shuffling my foot on the floor to get to the 2 feet closer together. So somehow I tried not to scream, because it was very painful, extremely painful. I wanted to scream, but I don't know, I just suppressed it. And then I released, every time I made it out of the pose to release the cramping. And then, for example, if I made it in the pose and I just hold it for 1 breath or 2 breaths before the cramping was, and I had to release the pose somehow. Then after I would rest a little bit, shake my legs out, and then go back into it for 2 breaths, whatever the cramping would come, and then shake it out, and then go back again. So I did this over and over again. Every morning I did this. And eventually I realized, okay, the cramping now is coming after 20 breaths or after 30 breaths. And then eventually I realized, okay, now my thigh gets deeper and deeper. And then at some point I got to the floor. So I could start a deep pull lunge. I could start doing a deep pull lunge. And now I can hold one lunge for 50 breaths, sometimes 100. So when I want to hold the pose very long, this is also something that I feel benefits because I couldn't move quickly. So I started with the goal of 200 breaths, when after 1 breath already I had painful cramping. So now I can hold a lunge for 50 breaths, 100 breaths, and then I change sides. And I think that is the secret. If you have sciatic pain, for me, this was the secret. Holding the poses for a very, very long time and working myself to be able to hold them for a very long time. This makes me confident, so I get confidence in my body again because I couldn't trust it anymore. You know, every time I could get hit by electrical pain, it was very scary actually. And yeah, I trust my body again and I feel good in my body again. I know I'm not where I want to be, so I keep going. You could ask me, so why don't you stop now doing it? But now I'm curious. I want to know. There are 2 things. So I'm scared maybe the pain can come back because I'm very close to where I was. So I'm not 100% out of my. I still have a pelvic tilt. I still not super flexible. So I'm more flexible than when I started out because I was so extremely stiff. But now I'm curious. I want to know where. So if I made this in 5 months, where will I be when I keep going? And how good will I feel when I keep going and not stop? So yeah, this is it for today. And I'm going to finish off this video with a request. Please, veganize it. Your mind, your heart, the world. Bye.